Now, starting the test drive in this Alpina B7, I have it in comfort mode now, and it really is comfortable. It's pretty quiet in here. I have the massage seat going. This just feels very luxurious, and honestly, BMWs kind of depreciate because they're so expensive to fix and the reliability is not always the best. At least that's what they have a record for. But these newer ones, especially with these 4.4 V8s, the 3 liters, the inline 6s, the newer engines, those are actually a lot of the times more reliable than some of the other vehicles that you'd expect to be better on the road. So this one in particular, for the power you get alone, I'd be like, all right, I'll go ahead and get an extended warranty or something, just in case I'm worried about an engine failure. But I mean, everything in here is still in pristine condition. The ride quality is still phenomenal. We're gonna test out the acceleration here in a bit, but I feel like a CEO driving one of these, and then if I wanted somebody else to chauffeur me around, I feel like a CEO in the back as well. Just a very, very nice car. Now, one thing I wasn't sure, but now I am sure, there are buttons. They're not like paddle shifters, but they're like little buttons behind the steering wheel, and that's how you can manually shift if you want to do that. It's so weird. It's almost like the steering wheel controls that are on the back of the steering wheel that you'd expect in a typical Chevy or Ford or something like that, that you toggle there. This is where they allow you to electronically shift the vehicle here. Very interesting. It doesn't bother me, but it's just weird. I'm not used to that. But I like having that ability to shift from behind the steering wheel as opposed to going to the shifter. But we're in Sport Plus mode now, and it's livened up quite a bit from coming out of the comfort mode. But I'm pretty excited to give this thing some throttle getting on the interstate here. Not gonna slow down too much. I have cars behind me, but we are gonna give it a pull. So we're in second. Here we go. Gosh, the pull there is incredible. My goodness. Now you do have a twin turbo setup, but I mean, the sound is almost visceral. It's that powerful. Even though you're in a pretty well insulated vehicle, you still have a strong sounding exhaust. So I love that. And even with these 21-inch wheels, where the cabin is so insulated, they're not as loud, even though you have the bigger wheels, low profile tires, and the ride is not suffering at all. Very, very nice in here. But what's crazy is the sound acoustics. I can't get over that. I'm doing 77 here, and it's just very quiet in the cabin. Yeah, that ride was very relaxing while also being very fun, and that's kind of what you get with the BMW, particularly a 7 Series that's equipped like this one is. That was quite enjoyable. Now here in the Eco Pro mode, I still have quite a bit of power at my fingertips. You're not getting the full-on output that you'd get in the Sport Plus mode, but it still keeps up with traffic relatively well, and it kind of helps you get that, I think, 18 miles per gallon city, 24 highway that you can get driving one of these. But me personally, I'd never get close to that because I'd keep my foot in this thing. It's just so much fun to drive, so quick. But I mean, it floats down the road like a typical 7 Series. So if you want something that has a bit more of a stiffer ride, you probably want to go with an M or something like that in a smaller BMW. But this is perfect for me because I feel like I'd want to drive about 30% of the time with a luxurious ride, and the other 70% I just want to have that powertrain, that 4.4 twin turbo V8, manually shifting that 8-speed. I just love that you get the best of both worlds with this car. Now, with this car being an Alpina, I do think you get, from the looks especially, the performance, but also just how this looks on the outside, it does look like your not so typical BMW. And I think it's great because this has pretty average miles for the year, 48,177 as of now. And for it to be a $152,000 car that you can get for under $60,000, I think it's just a cool way to get in something like this. Still feels modern, still looks modern. It still looks and feels like a 150 grand car to me. And that's kind of what I'd be in the market for if I was into something like this that was this expensive, because I don't want to necessarily spend 6 figures on a car, but something that was 6 figures. This almost reminds me, like, if you wanted to get a Bentley right now, let's say like a Flying Spur that was a 2011, 2012. Those cars were what, 250, depending on how you had one spec'd out, 200. And you could get one for 60, 70 grand with some miles on it. As long as you're able to fix it, or just get one that was meticulously maintained and continue doing that, I think you get a pretty good deal in a luxury vehicle that's also fun to drive. So with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2017 Alpina B7.